Thousands of liberals marched in D.C., demanding an end to the Second Amendment. But what they left behind in our nation's capital tells you everything you need to know about these heroes. We may never understand why liberals hate the Constitution. It seems they love going after every freedom protected by the Bill of Rights. They hate Christians and religious freedom. Freedom of speech is controlled through hate speech. And, of course, they want such severe gun control that no law-abiding citizen will ever exercise their Second Amendment right. Whenever gun violence occurs, liberals jump on the gun control bandwagon. This weekend, many of them showed up to Washington, D.C. to protest for more gun control. These entitled, arrogant elitists marched through our nation's capital, waving signs and demanding change. Their pithy poster boards spewed obnoxious messages, trashing Americans and our leaders. How brave! How noble! But once the cameras were turned off and the media attention died down, the marchers did something different. I guess they decided that their signs were no longer important, so they left them there. In the middle of the streets, these social justice warriors littered D.C. with their poster boards and other garbage. I guess fighting to protect children doesn't extend to keeping their streets clean. Let's deconstruction this, shall we? Liberals claim to be the responsible ones in our society. More responsible, they say, than patriotic Americans who safely own guns. They even march in D.C., showing off how responsible they are when they ask our government to rob us of freedom. But how do they show their responsibility when the event is over? They dump their garbage all over the city. Here's a tip, leftists: if you really cared about this country, you'd pick up after yourselves. Nothing says I hate America quite like littering the nation's capital with your poster boards. I mean, how hard is it to fold up a piece of cardboard and carry it with you? You brought it there, after all. If this surprises you, then you haven't been paying attention. Liberal advocates just might be the biggest hypocrites in our society. They squawk on a daily basis, demanding action and change for our country, but they leave behind them a trail of destruction the likes of which we haven't seen outside of wartime. It makes sense when you think about it. They're socialists, after all, and the core virtue of socialism is demanding other people clean up your messes. This isn't even the first time liberal protesters left a shocking amount of trash after an event. So why would environmentally conscious liberals trash cities? Because they can. Thanks to the liberal media, they are not held to any real standard. The news crews come out, fawning over these heroes, but they refuse to report on how these protesters leave all this trash. Conservatives who march, on the other hand, are held to demanding standards wherever they go. Have you ever heard of pro-life advocates leaving behind trash? Of course not, because they know they'll get re-aimed by the press if they did. March for Life has occurred in D.C. for over 40 years. They never leave the city in a mess because the liberal media would torch them. Leftists, on the other hand, get away with murder because the press is on their side. Once again, liberals hold themselves to a different standard than everyone else. It's high time we call them out for their hypocrisy and filth.